Hey YouTube. So this is the 5,000 mile review for this Tremor, Ford Maverick Tremor. It's actually got closer to 5,500 miles. It's time for its first oil change. And it is being recalled for the BCM, which is a body control module for the rear light problems. So we're probably take it in one of these days to get it done. We don't drive much right now. Too many doctor's appointments. It's going to get driven tomorrow. I may just take it for the oil change on the way home and just set an appointment for the oh my God. This kid is driving me crazy with his music all the time. Between 3 and 5 o'clock, so loud you can't even think. But I guess they want to play basketball more than they do want to drive the truck. Anyway, it's done fairly well. Average gas mileage over the 5,000 miles I didn't reset one of the trip computers has been 26.8 miles to the gallon. Driving on the Highway 55, say on back roads, it gets around 33, and on the interstate, it's just depending on whether you've got a headwind, but most of the time it's right around 27. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, just depending on the headwind. If I told you to buy one thing on it, I would tell you to buy that Pilot 360, Co-Pilot 360, I should say. I really enjoy being able to not be concentrating wholly on driving, being able to look at the scenery and watch things as we drive down the road. Yeah, you have to keep your hands on it, but on the interstate, it performs flawlessly. Keeps the car centered in the lane, practically drives itself. You still have to have a hand on the wheel, and I do drive with at least one hand on the wheel. If you don't keep at least 10 pounds of force on the wheel, downward pressure, or however, it will warn you. If you're not watching the road, it has a camera that's up by the mirror that warns you to watch the road and so on and so forth. But it's pretty liberal on the time period before it starts warning you. Stop and go works good. My only comment is if you're going to use the stop and go in highway traffic, set your distance a little closer, because what happens if you don't is you come up on traffic, say there's not a car directly in front of you, or it's way out in front of you, it will brake harder because it's trying to stop faster. If you're set a little closer, as that car slows down to come up onto the traffic, it's the truck's slowing down the whole time too, but if you're far away, it doesn't really start slowing down until it gets into radar range and decides, wow, now I need to step on the brakes. So it brakes a little hard. To get it going after you get stopped, you have to press the gas pedal or hit the resume button, whichever one you want to do. If you press the brake anytime during its decel, you're taking control of the deceleration, and you can just press the resume after you start moving again. It works really well. Back roads not so much, because in Michigan the back roads always have the white line goes around the corner, and it tends to follow the white line pretty closely, unless the yellow line is solid. If the yellow line is solid, it'll follow that really closely. But so on the back roads, you have to really pay attention, because you will have a problem with it wanting to dive to the right as the white line fades off into the other direction. But other than that, it works fairly well. We've noticed this truck's a little noisier than the Ram over I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but it does okay until the road is rough. Now, if the interstate or the road is really rough, you get a lot of interior noise, and that's being transmitted through the tires. Off-road, wow, this thing does well off-road. We've been down a couple of trails that we would normally take our UTV on just to see how it does. It rides great, better than the UTV does actually. So yeah, it is fully capable of going anywhere that a small four-wheel drive truck will go. Ground clearance may be an issue, but approach angles and everything else are great on this. And the deep part, the back angle is a little weak. If you were going to use this as a off-road four-wheel drive series, you would have to get rid of that back bumper. You'd have to put something else on it, just because it just sticks out too far. So the side warnings work really well, and there's no doubt you're going to know if cars coming at you from either direction if you're backing up. And lane keeping works. The lane alert to let you know there's a car coming up beside you work really well. So if you're new to lane alerts to let you know that there's somebody's coming, if it's flashing at you while you have your turn signal on, that means there's somebody in your blind spot. You need to cancel your turn signal. So we haven't had any rattles or noises or any issues with it, as far as things that might happen after 5,000 miles. It is just like it's brand new. As a matter of fact, it pretty much looks still brand new. There's some bugs on it. We had a paint coat protection put on, and it seems to shed water really well. There is a few things missing. There's no, if you're buying a 24 Maverick, it don't matter what level it is, none of them come with a in-car modem. Now you can start it remotely, you can do a lot of things, but it does not have a data modem in it. It just has the modem in the vehicle only works for the Ford Pass, and that's it. It does not have any way to hook it up to data. If you want data in your truck, you're going to have to buy an extra modem for it. So that's one thing we miss, because we have AT&T in our other truck, and we paid for it by the year, and it works good, especially when you're out camping. So that's it. Thought I'd do a video, give you guys an update. 5,500 miles. It has been recalled, but I'll get to that when I get to it. Time for the first oil change. It says there's still 60% of the oil life, but I'm going to change the oil the first time at 5,500 and the next time at 7,500, like I did my previous cars. Most of our driving is highway, and it just doesn't make sense to change the oil at 3,000 miles with this vehicle. You have to take the skid pad off, skid protector on the bottom of the engine off just to change the oil, and I imagine it's going to cost me some extra because there's 8 bolts you have to take for this. Well, the dogs are getting noisy. I got a barbecue to start grilling because it's Memorial Day. I want to say thank you to all those veterans out there that gave their life, and I want to, although they can't hear me, I want to say thank you to all the veterans I served with.